For those of you who were going to do the Saturday workshop, this is sort of an apology and a little bit of a plus, possibly. I thought I'd do a quick demo on a subject that I drew up and let you see what it is, and I will send you a link to the video and also a piece of scrap, which will be this one complete, so you can follow it. It's not from a photograph, it's strictly imagination. And then also, if you want it, along with that email will be a template that you can print out on your letter size printer, just black and white, and you can put it up on a window and trace it onto a piece of watercolor paper, and you'll have a template. Or if you needed, you could call me or email me, and I will get one to you on watercolor paper. In fact, it's a very, very nice watercolor paper. This particular one I put on, wish I could think of the name of it now, but it's one of the most expensive watercolor papers you can get. Anyway, so it'll work a little different too. With that, I'm going to set up the studio, set up the easel, and have a go at this. And if you're looking at this and you're looking at the video demo, you know it worked. Thank you. And of course, my name is John Hopper, and you can reach me at jw.hopper@comcast.net, or by going to my website, which is jw-hopper.com. So with that, we'll get set up here and we'll try this. Thank you. There may be a bit of a break in here because my camera went off. I set this up fast, so I haven't set the camera up to stay on, and so I kind of have to watch it, and you'll have to kind of, I wish you were listening to it and this was a live thing. So, but I was saying that I've put my chisel brush, my wash brush away now after doing the mountain in the sky, and I'm going to go to my numbers 12 round, see it there, and I'm gonna get a lot of water up in the brush and right on up to the ferrule. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here into my greens, and I'm going to pick an olive, and then I'm going to pick kind of a spring green or a light green, and then I'm going to come back in here and start putting some trees in. And you notice we're doing all the background and the trees and stuff before we ever get to the barn. So I'm going to come right down in here with this green, going up through here. I'm kind of looking back at the camera every once in a while and make sure that I haven't lost you again. What I can do is, if I remember to touch the camera now and then we'll keep you on there. So just put some trees behind the thing, and then take a little darker green, maybe even a blue green, and keep in mind that the light's coming from the right to the left, so you're going to have your dark shades for your trees on the left side. So shadows tree shadows and stuff are going to be to the left. And just don't make a lot of fuss about them, just put them in. It'll be fine. We'll do some more. And then we can even take a little burnt sienna and drop down in the bottom of the trees just to make this little area a little darker. A little more interesting. So that's the trees on that side. Now let's go over to the other side and do the trees. I'm going to touch the screen every once in a while just to make sure, try to get it so it doesn't turn off on me. So I'm going to just put the trees in really fast along this side, and we'll do a little fiddling with them as we go along. So I want it a little dark toward the bottom of the trees, and I just put my brush in the pan. Can you see that? I didn't even bring it back out and put it on the mixing tray. That way I get a lot of color in the brush, and I can get the color I want there, and I don't have to worry too much about how much value. There's more paint, the more value you have. So this is a light value, more water than paint, and this is a dark value, more paint than water. So, and that's just a matter of kind of learning and getting a feel for how you want your paints to work and so forth. So just it comes with experience. It comes with just doing more and more painting. So come back over here and just do a little of that in there. Okay, I got the mountain, the tree, the sky. I'm going to put in some foreground. And for that, I'm going to mix a little bit of my deep yellow with my lemon yellow, and maybe just a touch of the orange. So, and I'm going to come in here and put in this field. And as we do this, do some interesting things. We got a road coming down through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a bank by just putting now keep in mind the sun's shining on this bank, so I'm not going to make it real dark. I'm not going to make it like a shadow, but over here I can come in with a little more color, and then my road's going to really be a little darker, but this bank will just kind of indicate where the road is. So, and I may put some more detail in that field out there, but we'll see. And then I'm going to just take, that's my burnt sienna, and I'm going to do that right up here, burnt sienna, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of ultramarine in it. And I've already got some on there, so I'm going to make the road. And I'm going to make the road just kind of go down and come out. And you can make this road as wide as you want. And it comes right up there, and we're going to put a little bit of more interest in the road as we go along, but it guides your eye into the painting. And we'll put a little bit of dark in here to create a kind of an interest and some dark areas in there too. Okay, let's go back and just
So this time the foreground is not going to be just a yellow dry grass. We're going to have been watering this a little bit, even though we're in a drought. We're going to water this a little bit. So we'll have some green come out here, but what I want to do is eventually too bring that back into a brown. So we're doing the foreground now, and just rush it in, just scrub it in with your brush, with your round brush, and we'll put some detail in it as we go along. We can kind of do some of this, and then we'll come back and kind of grease it up, and we can actually put some brush in here. See how loose you can be. See how you just have fun. Just whistle, play a little jazz, and I have a little jazz on now, but I got the fan on in here. It's pretty hot. It's around 4 o'clock midday. Okay. So we're kind of there, and I'm going to pick up this color over here. But I'm not going to make it as strong. I'm going to put it down in here and pick up a little of the yellow and the red to, oops, that's a bit much there. So I'm just having fun. I'm putting in color, having a good time. Doesn't have to be. Now keep in mind, sun's coming this way, so I can put some dark on this side. This is a nice way to get you darker in there, and then you can actually have some fun and put in and even some blue in that area. And you can put a little in here. You can put. So just have fun with your. Gonna do a little something there. Come on. Okay, let's finish this up. It's gonna be yellow, orange, and I can just go right into that other to kind of create a. And then I can pick up some of the green and brush it back in there. Okay, and we got another road here, and this road's going to be a little darker because there's a shadow. Runs across it. So it's kind of a footpath. Okay, then because the sun's shining down on this, I'm going to go back to my yellows with just a little bit of green. The barn's going to throw some shadow over here. I'm going to put a tree in here, but I'm going to wait till I get the barn done. Okay, the barn is a white barn. What I want to do is have it kind of a bluish violet on the shadow side, and this is the shadow side here. Well, that's the roof, actually, so we'll make the roof something different. I want to put, I'm still watching trying to watch the camera as we go along so I don't lose you. This is the shadow side of the barn, and this eave comes out a little bit so you can have it a little darker at the top. And you can do some fun things with this too. Take some of your cerulean and maybe bounce it across there. And then I'm going to come down here and got to watch out because I'm going fast. So I'm going to paint a shadow in here. On the silo, and I'm going to go back in and put some of that violet I had in there in that. Okay, so we've got that going. Now the front of the barn's going to be super white, so we've already got that done. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put the door in. And we're just going to have it an open door. We're not going to get too tricky with this. And this is the hayloft. And we got a door over here. But we'll make that much darker as we go along. And we're going to put the windows in too. So let's put a little shade on the roof. We're going to come along and we're going to and this part of the roof is definitely in more shade, but I don't want it to be the same color as the wall. Are you still with me? Yeah. Good. And the windows will go in a minute or two. And I'm going to put a little bit of this color back here. Towards the front. And then we can actually add a little blue, and we can put the eave, color of the eave in here in the blue. And we can put a little still with me. I'm going to put a little blue up in here. Do that, and then I'm going to take the towel, the paper towel, and just blot the bottom of that a little bit so I don't have to think about it too much. And this area is white in here because it's part of the silo, but since it has a nice kind of roundness to it, it should look a little more round, and then we'll put a little darker than there. So we're getting kind of messy over here, but that's okay. We can do that, and then we'll put a little bit of shadow. And just take color out of your brush and take some of that out. Okay, so we got this much now. We're still looking at the camera there to make sure we haven't faded out on each other. Okay, now this is kind of another door in the silo, and the silo, this part of the barn is, part of the silo is broken away, and we're going to make the roof on the silo fairly dark. Okay, I'm going to get into my paint here. Okay, roof of the silo. Remember, part of it's broken away, and we'll put those details in a little bit. And I'm going to just put a little more color in here. So you're getting a feel about this. Now let me show you a little bit about the grass down here and stuff. I'm going to let you put this little tree in, and when you put the tree in, just put a lot of green on your brush, but make the tree sort of different colors. So you can just, when that's dry, you can just, you know, daub your tree in there, and then kind of just use your brush. And I'm still using the number 12 brush, and just putting a tree in there, and then you can put some of the detailing in afterwards on the tree, you know, some limbs and so forth. You can come down here and do kind of a thing, and then if you want to put a nice heavy trunk on it, you can do that. So, okay, on the grass in the foreground, let's take a little smaller brush. You know, I've got this is a number 6, so I'd actually use a number 8, but I'm going to not take the time to look for it. And I'm going to put a little green on my brush, and I'm going to come in here and put a little more green on it, and do a little stylizing on your grass. Now I expect you guys to take your time and do some nice things on this, but don't be too cautious, and don't get into too much detail. It won't help. It'll just kind of muddy things up, so you're almost better off to just kind of brush things in and have fun with it. And here's where I'm going to put these windows in. There's a window right here in the barn. I'm just going to kind of guess where those windows are. So just go in and have fun. I expect you to have a much better painting than this, but don't get hung up in it. Just, you know, and if you get a place where you think you made a mistake, like right here, I don't want that piece in there, I can just take a little clear water, move that right out of there. This, I could do one or two things on the boards on there. I could scrape that, or I can take a really fine brush I want to be terribly picky. And I can kind of do those pieces of wood going up, kind of give you the feeling, and then you can actually make some texture in there, and you can put a little more shadow under these. A lot of things you can do. If you want to put a little horse up here or a bird and make that a wind vane, a weather vane, you can do that. You can drop a little more, make the corner a little more obvious with a shadow. When you're having fun, just add a little color to your shadows. It makes them interesting, and sometimes alizarin crimson will do it, or really fun, I love to drop a little, while it's still wet, I love to drop a little bit of cerulean in those. And then back here, the barn's going to throw a shadow, so you can make a shadow out of that, and the tree throws a shadow too, so you can make a shadow. So just have fun and enjoy it, and give me a call if you want a template, or if you want to ask me a question or something. And one of these days we'll get together in the studio when we have enough students, and it'll make it more interesting and so forth. But for now, that's a quick demo. That is really a quick demo, and I expect, like I said, you to be a lot more particular, and you can do some wonderfully tricked things. You don't have to follow my color scheme or even my drawing. You can put in some of your own, and you can put in some texture in the roof. Which will make it a little more interesting. You can do the tree up larger. You can come back in and put more leaves and branches in the tree. If I get going, I can just keep working on this forever. I am going to do one thing down here. I don't like this spot of white down here, for one thing. It draws my eyes, so I'm just going to take some ultramarine and alizarin crimson. See what I mean? You can just play for all day, and then these rafters should come over to these studs, and you should be able to see between them, see some mountain and sky. So you got a broken silo on an old barn, and you can lift color, make the highlights brighter, just put your tissue there, and do whatever you want to do. So the idea is to relax, have fun, get yourself a painting, and if you want to, you can paint it 10 times. You can make it a red barn. You can make it in a snowy landscape. You can make it in a spring landscape with pink buds and flowers. You can do anything you want. You're the artist. Go for it.